What's up, YouTube? Today, we're in Infinite climbing with a card that you don't see that much anymore. A lot of the other 4-drops that have come out since have kind of stopped people from looking at shells like this, but I am playing with Malekith and Wiccan, and this is a deck that tries to get Ajax, Hazmat, Luke Cage, cards like that working. A lot of high-value 3-drops with Malekith. It is a Wiccan deck, so I'll get into how that works with Malekith, but really effective, and especially because it is super good against Bullseye, which, if you're anything like me, you've been seeing a ton of Bullseye on the ladder, in Conquest, everywhere, and this deck is very effective in countering Bullseye decks. I'll go over card by card, talk about why it's good at that, and yeah, so here's the deck. It is, like I said, a Wiccan deck, and it's using Malekith Anti-Venom as your other 4-drops, and it's just super good at what it does. It's consistent because it's a Quicksilver Domino type of Wiccan shell, and it just has a lot of answers to the meta. So let's go card by card, and we'll get into why I think it's very well positioned. So first of all, in this style of Wiccan deck, Quicksilver and Domino are very important because it lets you know more effectively what your Malekith draws will be, and it just lets you get a ton of great Malekith hits. In fact, this deck really has no bad Malekith hits. That was the idea in crafting it. There's not a lot of new cards in this deck, and I think it's because most of the good 3-drops in the game are older 3-drops. Hazmat is the only other 2-drop in the deck. You're obviously never going to play Hazmat on turn 2. You're pretty much always going to play Domino there unless something crazy happens. But Hazmat is one of the ideal things to see under Malekith, and it's also great to see at the end of the game if you've played Wiccan. To be able to play Hazmat and Ajax at the end of the game is obviously very strong. Domino, like I said, Quicksilver Domino, that's the style of Wiccan deck that this is. Sage, one of our late game value 3-drops. If it's under Malekith, it's just going to get a ton of value in that lane. And otherwise, just, I mean, it could be a 310, 312. It's just a big 3-drop. Luke is so good in this meta. People aren't playing it as much anymore. But Bullseye decks, they rely on that late game burst of negative energy, negative, affliction from Bullseye, and Luke Cage just shuts that down. It's also obviously working with Hazmat in this deck. And, that's Red Guardian's here too, but Luke Cage, it's great against the meta, and offense and defense. It's what it's always provided until it goes away. But for now, Luke Cage has to be in here. Rogue, ton of ongoing still in this meta. A lot of good targets for Rogue. It's a big surprise when it's under Malekith. People don't see that coming, and I'm very happy to have Rogue in the deck. It wasn't here at the beginning, but as I saw more and more ongoing things that I wanted a way to target, especially like opposing Luke Cages, when you do see those, Rogue can be great. Red Guardian, again, it's a meta call right now in this meta. I do think there are enough Red Guardian targets to make it worth it. And additionally, it's just an extra little bit of negative affliction for your Ajax. So it's good under Malekith. It's not the best Malekith target, but it still can get you value at the end of the game. I didn't want any bricks, and it's not a brick because you still get the negative power at the very least. And sometimes it hits a target that it actually matters, like a low power, like an Iron Man or something. Speed. People don't play speed much, but speed is a great Malekith target, and it's a Wiccan deck, so you're going to be using most of your energy. So this can just be a 3-8, 3-9, and that's pretty good if you ask me. There's Malekith, just basically huge stats, and also tech, because he's going to bring down a tech card, or he's going to bring a Hazmat, or he's going to bring one of your big stats like speed or Sage, and that's just a big swing at the end of the game, especially because we're trying to throw priority with this deck, and Malekith helps us out with that. Wiccan, I mean, what can you say? You probably know Wiccan. It's less in the meta these days, but still super good in my opinion. Fun, and it's just good to have all that extra energy at the end of the game, especially with your Hazmat Ajax combo. Anti-Venom, I forgot to mention this with Luke Cage. Obviously, Anti-Venom is amazing with Luke Cage. It can still be good in this deck if you're getting, you know, that 0/0. A 0/0 Malekith is still pretty good. And Sage, Speed, I mean, Ajax even though you're losing that 7 power, it can still get decently big. But Anti-Venom with Luke Cage is just nails. It's kind of lights out. And you're more likely to see Luke Cage because of Malekith in this deck. So I do think it still has a place. And then finally Ajax, it can get really big. And you're able to, with Wiccan, a lot of times wait to play Ajax until turn 6 when it's less likely to be countered by Shang-Chi or Rogue or Enchantress. So Ajax is kind of like your big finisher in the deck. It doesn't run Shang-Chi. I've thought about putting Shang in here, but Ajax is the only thing that's keeping me from doing that. It's going to be a ton of power at the end of the game, in all likelihood, unless you're facing another Luke Cage you can't neutralize. So that's the deck. Going to get into some gameplay now. Had a lot of good games with this. We were able to climb a bit. We did have an ego game that we lost 8 cubes to, and I was just trying to do it for the content, but what are you going to do? We're going to keep playing with it, see how much further we can get, and enjoy the gameplay. Thanks for watching. Okay, probably another Bullseye deck. I do like this matchup. Assuming we can get our Luke at some point. Malekith helps with the odds of that. So they can move their Meek away from Gamma Lab this turn. I don't know if they will. I'm assuming if they do, they'll go into Crimson Cosmos, which will keep me from Red Guardianing it. They're just going to play Speed. Okay. Well, that lane's going to be tough to win. I like Malekith over here. Let's see what we get. Moon Girl, huh? Luke. Probably Wiccan. Because then we could play Ajax in a 3 next turn. Or Hazmat if we draw it. Or we could just play Ajax now and then play 2 3s. If we play Ajax here. Here. Okay, we can rogue the Morbius. Well, 2 Morbius. Alright, got the Hazmat. That's big. So this lane's pretty much won, you would think, with the Ajax and Hazmat. So Rogue or Red Guardian better? Probably Rogue here. Okay. So they actually would have won the right, but they weren't able to contest the middle. Try to get something in Danger Room early. Another Thanos deck. And Domino stopping us from drawing rocks. So sweet. Nice Domino stuck. We're actually forced to play Luke here. I'm going to go middle to try to maintain them having priority. It's a good rogue target, possibly. Just Wiccan. Again, in the right to not take priority. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Danger Room. Okay. Malekith has got 4 targets. Speed, Red Guardian, Rogue, or Hazmat. Maybe like that. Away, our Malekith is guaranteed to drop something in here. Thanos is unfortunate that it's stuck. Probably can't be destroyed, right? Yeah. Hazmat. Okay. Well, they're still going to win the left. But I think we have a chance of taking the other 2, actually. Okay. Yeah. Should be good. Nice. Oh. Easy to sacrifice the Quicksilver into Vormir. So this is a Agamotto deck with 4 extra cards. I'll hold on to the Chimichanga for now. No reason to play that yet. I'm assuming Doom 2099 is coming. If I draw Malekith next turn, I can Chimichanga with something else in there and get a Raft card. without filling it up. Okay. They're likely to hit the raft too, but now that they use their chimichanga like that, I don't know if they can fill it up in a non-permanent way. Okay, so they didn't fill it. That's good. Magneto could be huge. I'll snap them probably as soon as we see the anti-venom card. Definitely. Want to make sure they have priority. Okay, doesn't matter. Are you actually Mr. Negative? No reason to disbelieve it yet. Psylocke? Okay, so you're not Mr. Negative. Unless you're the weirdest Mr. Negative I've ever seen, sir. Probably should just Red Guardian it right now. Sometimes it's nice to save a rogue for Morbius late in the game, but this is snappable. Wow. Go middle. Oh, it's Proxima. The rare Wolverine in a discard deck is cool. I like seeing that. If I have a choice between Antivenom and Malekith, I'll usually play the Antivenom first. That way I kind of know what Malekith's targeting better later. And I want to play Antivenom left because right now I don't have priority and I'd like to keep it that way. Iron Man. Hopefully we draw Rogue. Boom. So Malekith right now would get Luke or Speed. I think we go here plus Rogue next turn. Domino? Sure. Might actually help us out. What do we get? Luke? Okay. So definitely roguing. Right now, rogue on its own is going to be 20 and take them down. So that should be a win just with that. And then unfortunately, we don't have enough to Hazmat and Ajax. We could just Hazmat and Sage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Plus they're going to get -3. And if they ignore left, we win there. So Cool discard deck though. Appreciated. Kind of different look. Well, I don't want Kitty to gum up my hand, so just be Quicksilver. I've never seen that Zabu before. Bar Sinister. Might be a good place for a hazmat later. Oh, please draw Luke. Wiccan. Okay. Just hang on to Killmonger for now, just in case. Oh man, do I ever just go stupid with Wiccan? I'd get a ton of energy, but I only have 5 spots available anyway, so play over here. Interesting. My options are going to be limited to play into here, so I might just anti-venom. Don't want to give away that I have Luke. Maybe anti-venom Killmonger, actually. Clears a spot in case I draw Malekith and want to play it next turn. Maybe they'll drop their Luke now, and I can rogue it. That's also a target I would like to rogue. I can't though, of course. Man, are they gonna play Luke? They would definitely want to. If they're going to Luke, it would be over here. Right? Ouch. Okay, so hold on. Morbius is going to get taken out, and 3 hazmats here might actually win me the left and right, depending on what this last card is for them. Because there goes their Luke. Should be wild. Yeah, that should be enough. Wow. That was a fun one. Got an Agamotto deck, it seems. I'm just going to keep playing into the right lane. Let them play into the middle. All right. Nothing fun to Red Guardian here, but we just want to stay on curve for Wiccan possible. And Red Guardian in this deck, even if he's not hitting a priority target, just getting a little negative extra for Ajax is nice. Okay, so Hazmat's on the bottom of our deck. There's the Wiccan. Wow, I really don't want to play anything. Hold on. At this point, we're just hoping for Hazmat off Malekith. The Luke's going to help over here. I'm assuming they're going to play middle. He didn't. We didn't get the Hazmat anyway. Wow. That was wild. Here's our enemy Mindscape. I'm counting on you, Dash Rendar. Just take that out. So we have to assume Bullseye. We don't really want to Asgard, right? Give them more toys for Mindscape. Normally I wouldn't want a Luke. But we might have to. Next turn Wiccan. All right, let's actually play Luke, because if they do get our speed, we might be able to rogue it back. And then we do have Ajax and Hazmat. Turn earlier than we want to play them, but no harm, no foul. I wish I didn't have priority. Okay. Look at their Scorn and their Conchu. Some swarms. They get speed and anti-venom, and they can't play both. Oh boy. I haven't discarded anything. Just is Conchu better than just Malekith? Malekith hits Sage, and it's bigger than a Conchu. If it hits Rogue, smaller. If it hits Red Guardian, it's smaller. So Conchu's better. By one. Got it by one. Hello, Hazmat. I too have a Hazmat. Is there anything worse for a Quicksilver Domino Wiccan deck than the Sea Elysium? I mean, we're gonna get the extra energy, but so are they. And we don't get to play Wiccan now. I will Red Guardian you if I get the chance, though. They have priority. This still should hit, hopefully. Nice. So they're going to get a couple things before we Red Guardian. Unfortunately. We're just throwing priority, it's fine. Do I want Speed Domino or do I want a Malekith? Probably want a Malekith later when I know what I'm getting. I don't know if speed's always going to be the biggest thing there. We're going to try, though. Hazmat Sage or Luke Cage? That's the Luke. Okay. They're throwing priority for us. I think I'm just going to Wiccan and Sage. I mean, we're not going to have priority. We're not going to throw priority anyway. Maybe they'll throw Morbius down here. We can rogue it. Okay. They might throw Morbius here. Not that it matters. I can't rogue it effectively, but this will save speed at least. If they play like... Hold on. Oh, they don't know I have Luke. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I don't know I have Luke. Man, is this just... Maybe that's correct? Dawkin. Okay, so we'll tie there. They're gonna Bullseye. Our Luke will help with that. I think I'll win. Yeah, because speed will get destroyed, and then Luke will save our butt. Oh, how many scorns are they gonna get though? Okay, they only got not enough on scoring over here. Whew. So it was right to play Ajax there, although I think it would have won on the left anyway. So that's the deck. I think it's so much fun and refreshing to play a deck that, you know what you're playing on turn 1 and turn 2, and then you can kind of figure things out as you get later in the game. With your Malekith draws, with Anti-Venom, Wiccan, just super big bursts on turn 6, and that can be a lot of fun to play. So if you like the video, if you like the deck, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I've got more coming. We have Infinity Ultron hitting this week, and I'm sure I'll be cooking up some interesting brews with that. But thanks for watching. Later.